Trump lawyer Alina Habba has a message for Jack Smith. The Supreme Court saw right through your shenanigans. And later the host goes, bye-bye, Jack Smith. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are.
Yeah, it's called election interference. That is 100% what this was. And I'm really pleased with the Supreme Court. It really restored my faith in my profession, frankly.
This is important because people are losing their respect for institutions like the Supreme Court. And here's a lawyer who's saying she was being ashamed about her own profession, and now they're restoring faith in it.
The Supreme Court saw through this. There was no urgent application necessary by Jack Smith. He was trying to usurp the appellate division and go right up to the Supreme Court to have them hear issues of presidential immunity, which is an absolute immunity that presidents have for a very good reason.
This is a review of what we've already been saying, so it's great to hear an actual lawyer confirm what we suspected. Not bad for a comic book artist.
Frankly, so that they don't have to have DAs and AGs come after them after their presidency in this political witch hunt. And the Supreme Court ruled today that Jack Smith did not have reason to do so. He needed to stay the course, go through the normal procedures as everybody else. He had no urgency, and there was no dissent in the Supreme Court's decisions.
This should restore your confidence that the Supreme Court, in the end, is going to take up this case. And Trump is going to be exonerated. That's what it's all pointing to right now.
We can't try and rush due process when it suits them. They have year-long investigations, and then they brought all these cases, David, right before the election so that he's not on the campaign trail, so that he's out there doing nothing to help his campaign.
The Democrats thought they had Trump, but it's all going to backfire on him because he didn't need to campaign. These cases are the campaign making the case for Trump.
Instead, what they don't realize, which I think the polls show, is that the more you try and attack Trump, the more you try and tie him up in these witch hunts and court cases, they're going to get stopped and they're going to be seen by the Americans as an attempt to usurp the GOP and the Republican Party. Well, it's so desperate.
This is not about Trump versus Biden. This is about Trump versus the state is what's on the ballot, and Americans, a majority, are now waking up to it.
100%. And where's due process? That Colorado court, they're going to have it handed to them, I got to tell you. And it's going to be an embarrassing day. I believe, like many other legal scholars have said, this is going to be a 9-0 decision. There is just no justification.
A 9-0 case is what she's predicting. I predict the same thing. That means Jackson, that means Sotomayor, even the most flaming lefties on the bench are going to side with Trump.
What we're seeing is across the board DAs and AGs that are politically motivated. And I'm really grateful for the Supreme Court to step in and see through that.
Well, actually, so this goes against Fani Willis also, and Alvin Bragg and Chutkin. We didn't vote for them, so they can only be pushed back by a higher court.
It's a shame that it has to go as far as the Supreme Court. That is reserved for the utmost difficult decisions that really affect this country. And the fact that we've gotten there so fast is very telling. These cases are so political, and to put that burden on them is not fair. But I will say today, there was no dissent. There was dissenting opinions in the Colorado case, as you mentioned, but today there was none.
Even the Colorado case was so bad that it was 3 Democrats that dissented against the other 4. So there's no Republicans on that court.
It's restoring my faith, honestly, in our judicial system. And I'm a big critic of it when I see it going wrong, but today restored my faith.
I'm just trying to give you guys some hope. Have a little bit of faith in your Supreme Court and some of your justices, even as the lower courts are corrupted. And here's the final goodbye to Jack Smith.
That it was one sentence, no, Jack Smith, you don't got it. Yeah. I mean, it was that simple. Bye-bye. Try again.
Bye-bye, Jack Smith. This has been Doug in Exile. Subscribe.